We've been vacation rental hosts for 2 years now, and we have learned a lot. So today we are going to spill the tea on everything that we've encountered during our 2 years of being Airbnb hosts. Hey there, it's Christina from the DIYmommy.com. This is my husband, Sean. 2 years ago, this week, we launched our first vacation rental. You might remember 2 years ago, we bought a dilapidated lakefront cabin and completely gutted it right from the studs out. We changed the layout a little bit. Sean did a ton of work. I did a bit of styling, and then we listed it as a vacation rental on both Vrbo and Airbnb. And then this spring, we launched our second vacation rental, the Tiny Lake House, and did pretty much the same thing. Gutted it, and we have it as a short-term rental. I gotta say, I did an update 6 months after we launched our first one, and it was quite positive and happy-go-lucky. I would say that 6 months into any endeavor isn't really a good taste of everything that you can encounter in any sort of business. Now that we've been doing this for 2 years, I definitely feel like we have a better understanding as to what exactly goes in to being a vacation rental host or a short-term rental host, right?
Yes. It's a lot more than what you would think to begin with.
First things first, I will say that 95% of our guests are absolutely incredible, amazing. I do want to be careful what I say in this video because I know that there's going to be some of our guests watching this video, and if you're watching it, you are probably in that 95%. I pretty much guarantee it, but there are the 5% of people that we've just had a really tough time with. I feel like, just in life, you can't really please everybody. I sure like to try, but there's definitely people that you just can't please no matter what you do. So we have learned that there are definitely that 5% of guests that just will not be happy no matter how hard we work to make our rental clean and add a few little extras and things like that. They'll have a laundry list of things that we can change at the end. I definitely appreciate feedback, and we have used so much feedback from our guests. Everybody's different, so it's neat to see what kinds of people like different things that maybe we don't realize we need in the homes. Love that, but sometimes there's feedback like someone suggested all of our drinking glasses should be different colors because they were having a hard time distinguishing between their glass and their spouse's, which I think is a little bit much.
I think that would be just a little more personal. I find that some of the stuff that comes into it is more like, hey, this is what would be really cool in my world, and I would like this if I had all different colored glasses. That would be cool, and my kids could all have a different colored glass as well.
There was also one individual that loved to take hot baths in the evening and hot showers in the morning 2 or 3 times a day, and our water wasn't hot enough. And that sort of thing, we just we just don't really know what to do with. So yeah, just very unique people that we've dealt with that are just definitely hard to please, and we do try. And we have learned a lot from people and have taken some suggestions. Within that 5%, there's also people that damage our home, damage our things, and that I feel is inevitable. It didn't really happen within those first 6 months, but it sure has now. We've had some, larger things damaged and we had to replace them, and then smaller items as well. We know that wear and tear happens in a home. That's gonna happen in your house, in your rental, anywhere, and that's fine. But it does get frustrating when people break our things or take our things and don't tell us. We really appreciate when people accidentally break something and send a quick message, and usually we're like, yeah, no problem. But it's just frustrating when you have yourself or your cleaner go into the home and you see a lot of damage and it wasn't mentioned.
The biggest thing is just not hearing about it and finding out yourself. I suppose anybody can relate to having your stuff broken and then finding out that someone broke it on you.
So yeah, we definitely had damages, and it's heartbreaking because if you've done lots of home renovations and decorating in your own home, you do get attached to it. It's just disappointing when people ruin your things and don't tell you.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that we've learned that's become a reality is just how much work is involved day to day in having these as short-term rentals. We knew that it was going to be work, of course. Any good thing is going to be work, right? Any sort of business venture. But I don't think either of us understood exactly how many hours in a week we'd be putting into this. So we do have cleaners that we hire. Sometimes we'll have to do an emergency clean, but we have cleaners. But even if you have people that help you, you have to manage those people. Someone's sick, you have to find somebody else. They don't do the job that you quite want them to do. You have to go in and give constructive feedback and, you know, maybe fix some things yourself. And then dealing with other people helping you is taking hours out of the day. And then we do most of our own laundry for the units ourselves, just because it's just so much money to pay the cleaners to sit there and wait. So that's hours a week as well. And then yeah, just checking on the properties, and Sean does all the maintenance. So he does all the lawn mowing, the snow removal, fixing things that have broken, just, you know, the maintenance that you have to do with a house. And I don't think we realized how much work that would be.
We didn't think it through. Should have realized it was a whole nother house that you're maintaining, and you have to put new people into that house every few days. It's gonna be a lot of work, but we're managing.
But yeah, I still would say, like I did the 6 months after we launched, it's still very rewarding, and I love hosting, and 95% of the people are just so amazing and really wonderful to chat with in the Airbnb and Vrbo chats. And you know, we've had people leave us cards and things, which is just like above and beyond. We don't expect that, but just little things like that really help us keep going. And yeah, I think if you are considering getting into the short-term rental hosting business, do realize it's not a sit back, kick back, and let the money roll in thing. It's just like any business where you're going to be putting hours and hours into it, and then hopefully, you know, getting some money to pay for the hours you put into it.
And it's also tough because you have to look at most every detail every time someone comes in.
Yeah, of course.
And that's a lot of details every time, kind of thing. It's a lot of work, and it's a lot of maintenance. If you had to pay your own maintenance crew, if you had to pay contractors to come in and do maintenance on the places, I would think you would make a lot less money. You better be able to fix some stuff yourself, I would think. Because yeah, if we had to hire somebody to come and do everything that I come and do, it would eat into a lot of the actual money that we would make.
That brings me to the topic that everybody asks me about. Do we make money doing this? Is it actually worthwhile from a financial point of view to have these two vacation rentals? I would say yes, but then I would also say it's not as much money as you think it is. So first off, we have an automatic pricing system that has our prices go higher for the weekends and for holidays in the summer, and then lower for the less demand dates, which is great. We have a lot of automatic systems set up. If we didn't have those, I wouldn't be able to do anything else other than have the rentals. So all of that stuff helps. But then when you account for the fees that Airbnb and Vrbo take off, when you account for the cleaning, so we actually pay our cleaners more than we charge our guests, just because it's a high rate. I haven't found any cleaners less than what I have to pay our cleaners for, and that to me is the number one priority for these, is to make sure they're cleaned and cleaned well. The maintenance, like the money you have to spend on the tools and the supplies you need to maintain the home, all of the things like toilet paper, paper towel, granola bars, popcorn, cleaning supplies, all of that eats away at all the profit. So what happens is in the summer, we make a pretty good amount of money because the rates are higher nightly, and we are jam-packed for both rentals, which we're so grateful for. So we make that most of our money in the summer, and that pays for all of the bills plus more. So it essentially pays for all the bills to the end of the year. But then in the winter, it just pays for the mortgage and bills for the places, but just barely.
Yeah.
So some months it's not even paying for the mortgage and bills. So if you even it out over the year, what we've discovered is that the income we get for the rentals pays for the mortgage and all the bills, and then our time, but at a very low hourly rate.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to work at the hourly rate that we work at.
Yeah, so you kind of have to think about it too as like asset building, and then it's kind of like a low hourly rate part-time job.
Yeah.
So it's
sweat equity job is what it is. You're not making wages, but you're making money in the actual asset of the house getting paid off with the mortgage every month.
Mm-hmm. If you think about it that way, it's fantastic. But if you look at it as just an hourly rate job, no.
You don't want to look at it like that.
No,
and it's also really horrible if you look at it that way, because it's usually after hours. It's usually on weekends that you're going to have to do stuff. It's usually the client checks out at 11 o'clock. On Sunday, so you have to go check everything out on Sunday kind of thing. And then you have to go mow the lawn on Sunday. And then you have to make sure that the person that's coming in for Tuesday or Monday has all that stuff ready. You're not getting paid overtime for that.
So we hope that this video doesn't come off as complaining. We just wanted to make sure that you knew the realities of being a vacation rental host. Now that we've done it for 2 years, we do feel like we have a pretty good grasp on what actually goes into it. But again, we're grateful for every single guest that comes here. Ultimately, we still love it. We're still really proud of the homes. And so many of our guests are just amazing, and it's very fulfilling to be able to host so many people from all over the world at this point. So that's amazing. But yeah, I think if you're thinking about it, just know that those are some of the challenges and realities that you'll face as a vacation rental host. So just like every business, it has its pros and its cons.
And it may take a while to pay off.
Right. One day. So thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know down in the comments below if you have any questions about being a vacation rental host or any comments on this video. We would love to hear from you. If you want to see this cabin renovated from start to finish, I'm going to leave a video for you to watch next right up here.